Hello everybody, what is up? I'm Jermaine, back once again to cast some games, and this time it's from my YouTube channel. You have no idea how excited I am to be back at this. So we're going to start off with a bang. Down here in the bottom left hand corner of the map Daybreak, we have everybody's favorite red Terran, the Gorilla Terran, Liquid Jinro. And in the top right hand corner of the map, the blue Protoss player, it is Brown. Alright, so this map courtesy of This Week in Replays from TeamLiquidPro.com. Great website, talks about, it's like the team site for Team Liquid. They have their community site, and they did a great thing with shortening, or separating the two, I should say, and making their team site. So yeah, as I was saying, this is my first cast back in a while because my hard drive just did not like its life for a little while. I guess I had some bad partitions and stuff, and this is the first true test for my computer. So assuming that I make it through this replay, I think everything's going to be okay, which is awesome. And we do see Jinro here throwing down the super standard 12 barracks. Nothing out of the ordinary just yet from either player. I say just yet, like both these players are going to deviate. I really have no idea, to be completely honest with you. I don't actually watch the games before I cast them, so I get better practice. But Jinro throwing down the 14 refinery. A lot of times you'll see it on 13, sometimes you'll see it on 14. Not that big of a deal. And it looks like Brown is moving out here to scout. TVP is a very interesting matchup at the moment, characterized by very strong Terran in the early game and very strong Protoss in the late game. It seems like the Terran can be up by, whatever amount of food, and then 3 great storms, and it's over. And as you can see in chat there was probably some pause action that happened. I'm not sure where this map came from. Probably actually the latter, given the fact that this is the map version. Yeah, this isn't any special version here of Daybreak. So the Terran is now going to scout Liquid Jinro. Tech Lab is now down on that barracks. Very early Tech Lab, don't usually see that. And we do see a Reaper opening here out of Liquid Jinro. Very interesting indeed. And it looks like Brown is going to go over here and maybe hide a proxy pylon. Sneaky little devil that he is. But Jinro up to some shenanigans of his own. Going to throw down that Reaper. And it looks like it's going to be a Reaper expand. Jinro building up a lot of money, as you can see. Up to 280 minerals, now over 300. Won't be surprised to see him throw that down very quickly here. Warp Gate is now underway for Protoss, and as all of you know, Warp Gate is a critical ability. See Jinro, as we talked about, throwing down that expansion, so a Reaper expand. Not very common in TVP, and I'm really excited to see Jinro doing something a little out of the ordinary. And what's this SCV doing? Is he just hiding to scout, or is he up to some kind of no good? Looks like he might be up to some no good, but is the Stalker going to find him? No, he's not. Right outside the vision. I mean, like, I'm talking 2 or 3 pixels. And another great positioning here by Jinro. That command center not going to be scouted very easily. And the expansion is now going down here for Brown. So an economic build for both players. Neither player wants to end this game too early. And this Reaper for Jinro just kind of chilling in the middle of the map. Actually, a lot of time we'll see the Reaper try to come up here, jump right up here. But no, it looks like Jinro wants to have it consume the tower. And after getting that expansion up, we do see 2 more racks coming down and combat shield halfway done. So pretty standard turn of events here. Going to be heavy Marine Marauder bio play out of Liquid Jinro, and it looks like it's going to be Robo out of Brown. We do see Liquid Jinro coming up here to scout as the big thunder boom from outside my window. I had no idea that was there. That's kind of scary, actually. Didn't even know it was raining. But bunker is going down here at the front to protect the expo. That will land right here. And this scout, getting such a great scout off, will finally die, but not before he sees literally everything. He did see the 3-gate and the robo, and the expands, the 3-gate robo expand. What do you know? And +1 is now on the way for Jinro, so Jinro will be grabbing that early upgrade lead, as well as stim pack and some reactor action. And so, like I said, going to be heavy Marine Marauder. Really difficult for Protoss to deal with really early on, up until Templar or Colossus deck. And the Observer is now out, and that'll help a little bit to get an idea of what's going on. If Brown's thinking standard play at all, he won't be too surprised to find that he is going for heavy bio. Checking out the workers tab, we do have 24 workers and 2 mules to 34. workers for the Protoss, which is about even. I've always counted mules as 4 workers while they're around. So right now, just even footing. And it looks like Jinro throwing down his first factory. He is going to be teching up to Stargate play here very shortly, and getting those medevacs, which are crucial for those bio. Medevacs make the Terran army last so much longer. 40 supply to 53 supply, as you can see up here in the top middle of your screen. Brown taking an early lead. What's that represented in? And that's mostly in workers, actually. A 12 worker lead now for Brown. But the army supply of both players still relatively low, and Brown's observer is now going to get in and scout, and the second observer out. I do like this idea of getting multiple observers out, and there's the Double Forge as well as the Twilight Council. Be interesting to see the tech choice that Brown decides to go for. Will it be Blink Stalkers? Will he just decide to go straight up to Templar Archives? I'm not too sure. And it looks like the observer still in the base, poking around everything, and have it sit right over top of that Terran army. And Jinro's going to have no idea. +1 is about to finish, however, for the Terran. And +1/+1 just now starting for the Protoss. So Terran does have a bit of a window here to engage in if he would so desire. Let's check out the infrastructure of the Terran, getting up like we were talking about to the starport with the reactor, going to be churning out those medevacs. And it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing Colossus today, but with still Blink Stalkers, there it is coming out of that Twilight Council, and multiple gateways just on the way. So looks like it's going to be some pretty heavy 2-base play from both players. Wouldn't mind to see Jinro hit a nice timing with the +1 and the conch shell, but who knows what Jinro has up his store. Jinro, one of my personal favorite players, actually always the first guy I watched, and he introduced the idea of Macro Terran, and looks like he does want to push out here. And I like this decision. If he does decide to go, he's going to have an 11 supply lead. He has an upgrade advantage. And conch shells is going to finish just in time. Reaper scouting out for the third. Very good scouting here by Jinro. Brown, however, holding his own on the economic front. Been using those chrono boosts effectively. Up by 16 workers now. And Brown's observer is going to scout this entire thing out. Going to see the Terran moving into position. And Immortal is out, as well as a group of sentries. 4 of them to be precise. And Jinro might have waited too long. +1/+1 is about 40 seconds away from completing 50 seconds, if I could count correctly. And he looks like he's going to take out these middle rocks in here. Wants to open up a new attack path. What is Jinro going to do when he gets to the front? I hope he hurries, though. I mean, he's got to hurry because these +1 upgrades are going to finish. Blink is now done, and another warp in of Zealots here. Robotics Bay is on the way, so it looks like a tech switch incoming to Colossus might happen. And the supplies, as they stay, in 102 for Brown, 96 for Jinro. Jinro up by 7 supply, now up by 5 supply in the Army tab. This would be a good time for him to engage, but +1/+1 has finished for the Protoss player. It could be a pretty dangerous engagement here now. Conch shells not finished yet. +1 did just now finish for the armor of the Terran. And one Marine going up there and scouting. There are a lot of force fields left on these sentries, and they're just spending them trying to keep the Terran army at bay, buy themselves some more time. And these Stalkers doing a pretty good job of softening up, but the medevacs actually providing great observer vantage point, I should say. Charge is about finished, and it looks like Terran wants to engage. No decides to back up and wait for another day, and I like that decision out of Jinro. Charging up a ramp is never a good idea. I'd like to see Jinro work in some more Marauders. It does look like he is doing that one Marauder at a time. The factory taking some damage there, and Jinro's army going to do the little back and forth chase. Try to perhaps spread out the Protoss army, but I don't know if that's going to work out for him. This choke right here for the Protoss, very easy to defend. It only has 2 ramps to defend, where the Terran's got a long walk around this base to defend anything. +2/+2 is on the way for the Terran player. Slightly behind the +2 of the Protoss. And it looks like Terran wants to go up. Decides not to. That would have been really bad. Could have got his whole army force fielded. The factory burning. And it looks like a probe coming in here. Going to lay a proxy pylon. Been laying proxy pylons all up the map here. Not going to make it very easy for the Terran to defend here. Now he's going to be warping in units to the third. Terran makes it up the ramp, however. And it looks like he's going to go after the first Immortal. First Immortal does fall. We're going to see an engagement here. Not the best force fields here for the Protoss player. Going to lose a lot of supply. Terran looks like he's going to retreat. The Colossus is out, and that will mark the end of the Terran's push, but not before he did a little bit of damage. Let's check out the units lost. Top 1450 for the Terran, 1125 for the Protoss. So a better engagement for the Protoss. there, as well as the Protoss is warping in Zealots down here at the third. Going to lose a few there, and it looks like the entire Terran army did have to stem to get over there. And this army here is going to clean up. +1/+1 against +1/+1, and the third will survive for now. It looks like the proxy pylon's still, however, in a very good position. And I'll switch back to that tab. External Thermal Lance is on the way for the Protoss player, making those Colossus that much stronger. And it looks like Liquid General going to add on some more starports. Wants to get that medevac Viking production up, adding 2 Vikings right now, and continually adding barracks. Terran, their bio is so good the entire game. And the General's going to think he's found all these pylons, but he's really not. I'm going to miss this one right here probably, and more than likely going to miss this one. No, he should see this one. Please tell me you see this one. John, there you go. Okay, he saw it. And it looks like he will actually see this one, but not before it's too late. Some more Zealots are going to come in here and probably harass the third. Let's look over here at the Protoss' base. We do see the Templar Archives going down somewhere. There is actually first guess. And we are going to see the tech up to Templars and probably Psionic Storm, which, like we were talking about at the beginning of the match, Psionic Storm can just devastate a Terran army very quickly. Genro cleaning out all the proxy pylons finally. I'm slightly surprised by that. And these 2 Zealots not going to be doing as much damage as they would like. Nice little wall off there by Terran, going to cause him to have to waste a lot of time to get around there. One mule does go down, but I think it actually was at the end of his rope, excuse me. Nothing really else too interesting going on in the game right now. The players are just building up their forces, and we're preparing for an epic clash. We do see Templar and the Archons coming in, morphing. 2 Archons morphing. One is already made. 171 supply for Brown, 158 for Liquid General. Team Liquid General plus going for the +3/+3, while the Protoss is doing the same. Once again, Protoss a little bit ahead on the upgrades. General got slightly behind in them, so if an engagement happened anytime soon, it could be pretty bad for the Guerrilla Terran. But the Ghost Academy is about finished here for Terran, and that will allow him to get the crucial access to that EMP tech. And General stems his whole army there, it looked like, but that's okay. No engagement was forced there. Protoss tried to take a 4th. Has had a fully functioning 3rd for quite a while, and it looks like here that the 4th, or the 3rd from the Terran, is doing quite well and dropping down his 4th command center and other command center, the 5th over here. Looks like Terran wants to start macro command centering where he can just use those mules to his advantage, sack a bunch of workers, get a bigger army than his opponent. Check out the army supply. Protoss in a bit of a lead here, 12 supply lead and a 10 supply food advantage. So Protoss certainly in the lead here. Protoss actually only 15 supply from being maxed out. Ship level weapons for the Terran is about done. Going to make those Vikings be much stronger against the Colossus. How many Colossus are out? 4 of them are out on the map right now. I'm kind of curious to see what Terran plans to do, because he could just sit back, but then that's going to mean that Protoss is going to get even further ahead here. +3/+3 is done for the Protoss. Still about 75% of the way done here for the Terran, and Psionic Storm isn't that long away from finishing, about 40 seconds, and it looks like the Protoss army is going to move out here, going over to the 4th base of the Terran. Terran army way out of position here. If he pushed now, that'd be bad for the Terran. The command center is going to go out and probably float over here somewhere. It's going to float somewhere. It's going to float to the 4th. And it looks like the Protoss army is ready to engage forward. Pylon has gone down. We're going to see a bit of an engagement, folks. Keep in mind, these Psionic Storms are pretty much it. Big storms or big EMPs are going to decide this battle. Viking army, however, is huge. And that Stalker going to meet his death. No, he's going to escape. But the Colossus is not long for this world with that big of a Stalker army. It looks like we are going to see a big engagement here. No, big storms, though, go off. And the clutch Archon transformation. 6 storms there out of Brown. Who is this guy? And Brown weakening that Terran army ever so significantly. The Archon coming up, going to take a lot of damage. Don't know why he did that. But, oh well, I guess. Looks like neither of these Archons do have enough energy for a storm. So the Protoss will have to be patient. Ooh, cannoning up here. I like this. Going to get a bit of a harder to contain here on Liquid General. General at 200 supply. Brown at 189, but Brown's simply 1 warping away. Cloak going down for the Ghost, and 3 Dark Templar are on the way now for Brown. And that could be simply to get cheaper Archons, but who knows? It could also be to come in and harass the Terran. Let's see where those Dark Templar are. There they are. They're going to be coming up here, and looks like they're just going to run straight for the third. Protoss bouncing back down to his third to get a better defensive position, and I like this candidate up position here. It's going to cost the Terran some army to take his fifth. And oh, look at this. The DT is going to stop that cannon from being produced. And all these Marauders actually could fall. And actually, a costly scan at this point in the game, Terran can't be affording much of anything. +1 shields level is on the way now for the Terran player. +3/+3 has finished for both players. And it looks like the Protoss wants to engage here. Terran army not in the best position, actually. Vikings, however, doing massive work against the Colossus. Not a lot of Stalker power on the Colossus, and Protoss' supply is plummeted. And all the Colossus will fall because of the superior Viking size. One Colossus will remain with 25% health. 176 supply for Liquid's General, 160 for Brown. And here we go, the Terran is on the charge. Great engagement there from Liquid's General, catching the Protoss army way off guard. 148 now for Brown. EMP's going off. There are no more storms left in this Protoss army. Terran's going to take out this light contain like it was taking candy from a baby. And that's the remaining forces of the Protoss, folks. 183 supply for Liquid's General, 161 for Brown. And the Protoss has been set into a bit of a scramble. However, he does have a fourth base that's been up and running. Terran relatively just now getting his. And it looks like both players content right now with remassing their armies. Genro is saying, I could trade again. Not a big deal to me. Here, let's look at the army supply. 124 for Genro to the 104 of Protoss. And it looks like Protoss wants to force engagement here. Don't know if I agree with this decision. Going to go ahead and get a great engagement. They're dodging 6 storms. 1 Templar is going to die. The Protoss in that situation, realizing he had to make something happen. And it turns out he was just too far behind. Not necessarily a bad engagement, but it looks like the Terran in a pretty commanding position here. Vikings in a great position, you know, two-shot these Colossi, and the bio ball of the Terran looks like it will remain supreme. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Vikings land here ever so shortly. Provide some additional firepower. 131 supply to 134. The Protoss' supply is equaling, however, but the armies here, not long for this world for the Protoss. Terran not long from catching back up. 3 Archons are on the way here. 2, I should say, and 3 Templar, with the Terran constantly remaxing. I don't know if this is a good position. Sorry about that. 78 army supply for the Terran, 66 supply for Brown. Brown kind of in a weird position. The army supply isn't that big of a difference, but it does feel like the Protoss is way behind because the engagements haven't been most cost effective for them. Let's check this out. Oh, absolutely. That tab tells the story. Protoss not training near as cost efficiently, and Liquid General is now taking his 5th base. Protoss been on a 5th for a little bit, but it looks like it might come down to these 2 bases that nobody in their right mind ever takes. Protoss looks like he is going to take his now, actually. So it's going to come down to whether Protoss can hold that base. And +2 shields for the Protoss is about to finish here. Protoss is about to be actually upgraded out as you hear that loud crash of thunder outside my room. And the factory is on the way, so it looks like the Terran might want to start tech switching. Unless he wants to add on, unless his factory died. His factory died, I'm sorry. Using that just so he can build more starports. And looks like both players are going to go back into a remax stage here. Really interesting to see what's going to happen out of either of these players. 173 supply is the supply for General. 179 for his one. Now jumped up to 185. His the Protosses, and the General is going to get a pretty good attack on this. Ooh, cancels, forces the cancel. Very nicely done there by General. The army for the Protoss player stuck back here guarding the 5th. And it looks like the Terran is on a pretty good position economically. Look at the income. Terran ahead economically because of his mules despite his worker disadvantage. 4 nukes on the way. And please tell me it's going to happen, Liquid General. Please tell me it's going to happen. For the love of all that is holy, I hope it happens. And is there an observer over the army of the Protoss? It doesn't look like it. There is an observer over here, but it looks like the ghosts are about to go out. We might be seeing one. We might be seeing one. And I just really hope that it happens. And all the army is clumped up for Brown. 200 supply. We could see 200 supply go down in just one swoop. That would be a glorious afternoon here in the Starcraft universe. Ghosts are in position all over the place. Is General going to call down the nuke? tell me he is. Gonna scan, gonna come up here and try to pick some stuff off. Ghost gonna run back and get this Ghost attacking this pylon. And here it is. There's the nuke. Does the Protoss see the dot? He does. He's moving his army away. Dang it. Where's the other nuke? Oh, over here at the 5th. There are nukes all over the place. Actually gonna attack this base and this base. First nuke goes off without a thing. But there is a nuke over here that's gonna land. Gonna cause not a whole lot of damage. But oh, daddy, Protoss, please. Oh, kills all the probes of that base except for 3 mining the minerals. Oh, Brown, you're so Gosu. Or so Chobo, I should say. Where is that nuke coming in at? Over here. It could kill all these probes. No, Brown notices this time. However, I would like to see the Protoss. Oh, the Protoss does kill all those. Sorry. Fanboyism coming out in me. I love nukes. Big Daddy nukes. And I would like to see him drop another one if he could get away with it here. And there it is. Does the Protoss notice? Does he notice? Protoss army moving out. Looks like he wanted to move. Yeah, he noticed once again. Darn it, Protoss. And observer speed is on the way now as the Protoss is starting to realize, hey, I'm running out of things to spend my money on. And oh no, right almost at the last second the Protoss army moves. And it looks like... does he not see it? Those stalkers are going to die. Oh, please, please, please. Oh, no. Got so excited there for no reason. I'm turning into like a kid whenever these nukes go off. Like, please, please, please. Who am I? Protoss trying to grab this base down here. And it looks like the Ghosts with the nuke on top of the army. This could be the engagement. Oh, no. It's not going to be because the Protoss army is running far, far away. Far, far away from here. And it's going to kill a cannon, maybe. Nope. Going to take half of a cannon's life. Marauders are going to come up here and try to force the cancel. Jinro putting the Protoss, I should say, in a very interesting position where not really anything is working. The Protoss pretty pinned to his base. If he forces an engagement, the Terran has nukes. He has the superior army. And look at this, the Viking count getting so high now. And nukes right on top of the army. I don't think that's going to actually work, Jinro, but good try. Maybe going to force the Protoss into a position that he wants to be in. I love Jinro's transition into nukes. Oh, Jinro. Oh, no, I thought there was going to be a nuke there still. Sorry, dog. And it looks like the Terran is going to go up here and try to take this base while the Protoss has finally, I think, secured this one. And great macro game between both of these plays. Very lengthy. My voice is starting to hurt. And it's going to come down to the engagement. Can the nukes and the EMPs be solid for the Terran? And it looks like the Protoss players grab this base. SCVs are like, what? And SCVs being sent to their death that they don't know anything about. And, oh, this could be it. Look at this. Very nicely from Jinro here, forcing... And, oh, no, that's a bummer. The nuke-bearing Ghost died because of an observer. Silly observer. Oh, wow, sorry. Nukes going off, not killing a whole lot just yet. 198 supply Jinro to 199 supply Brown. And these nukes, if anything, are forcing the Protoss to keep moving. EMP's going off all over the place. Ghost does die to drop the nuke, but still no shields left or no energy left on any of those units. And Jinro 181 supply to 171. Let's look at the income here. Jinro 1,000. The Protoss a little bit ahead in terms of income. But the supplies of the Protoss a little bit behind that of the Terran. So actually pretty even. And if you wouldn't know it, you'd say this game is pretty darn even. And it is pretty darn even. There's been great trades by both players. Looks like the Protoss is going to push up in here into the well-planetary fortress base. And Vikings are going to start getting their pot shots off on the Colossus. Oh, Big Storm, that misses. EMP misses as well. Both spells not hitting their intended targets. The Terran does now have his respective 5th up. And we're going to mine out the base here, folks, is what it's looking like. Because neither player wants to force an engagement where they're going to lose because of carelessness. And Jinro constantly using those scans, trying to keep tabs on his opponent. Great positioning here from Terran. Oh, good nuke placement. Good nuke placement. And it's going to force the Terran to... Oh, 6 storms, though. Liquid Jinro taking a lot of damage there. Drops the 10 supply down here. Both of these Archons are under fire and actually might get eaten. Jinro, don't walk into your own nuke, man. Okay, he didn't. And the Vikings actually taking out all but 4 Colossus there. I say all but 4, but that's how many Colossus Jinro has had to take out. Brown's had a ton of those. And it looks like Jinro actually going to double nuke this base here, stopping mining, and that's more of an annoyance than anything. not necessarily killing any workers, but at the same time, what it's actually doing is forcing the Protoss from being able to mine, effectively setting him way behind. Cannons are going to die. That pylon might hurt a little bit in the morning. It looks like the Protoss player wants to jump up here and take out the 5th. And I must say that's a very good idea. You can't let the Terran have that 5th. And the SCV is very slow to respond, not responding in time at all. This base will die. Looks like Terran wants to push now. General said the time is now. Storm's going off on the Vikings, and a sick AMP going to take out all the energy on those 2 High Templar there. And the snipe's going off as well. And where'd that nuke go, baby boy? There's a nuke somewhere. There's nukes everywhere. There's a nuke there. Oh, where are they? I don't know where they are. This could be actually the one that's like a disaster. I'm going to miss it. Multiple nukes going off down here, and this base will certainly die. So neither player is destined to have a 3rd, it seems, or a 5th, it seems. A 6th, rather, sorry, but looks like both players are going to mine out this base. Nukes not hitting anything after that base was destroyed. 192 supply for Genero, 197 for Brown. Pure numbers-wise, it looks like the Protoss is ahead of Liquid Genero. But position-wise, I just don't know. I feel like this army composition of Liquid Genero is superior to that of Brown. But however, like we said at the beginning, and like we've said all game, good storms can change this game. Look at the income tab. Protoss still ahead in the income. And both players, so much money in the bank, as you can see up there. 4K for Brown, 1.6K for Terran. And I don't actually know what to think about this game anymore. Another soft contain is going to go down over here for the Protoss player. It looks like Andy's going to retry to grab that 6th. And, ooh, 6 snipe there by the Ghost. I'm going to whittle that High Templar count down. Ooh, does the Protoss want to engage here? Doesn't look like it. A nuke, very offensive, defensive at the same time. Protoss, please walk into it. No, he's not. It doesn't even matter who you want to win this game. You want to see him walk into that nuke. It would just be sick nasty. Another scan going down. And this nuke isn't going to hit a darn thing like any other one right there. Just missed the explosion. I felt bad for a second, but you don't know. Like, you've seen a nuke explosion before. Terran, please don't step into your nuke radius. Okay, he's going to back up, get that pylon weak, and let the nuke do its damage. And could we finally see a nuke that does some damage? I sure hope so. Viking count astronomically high here, up to 10. And they have every upgrade in the world. It seems like +1, +0. Not really many upgrades at all. I'd almost like to see Generous spend his money on more upgrades. Protoss coming in here wants to take out this planetary fortress. Looks like he will do so cost efficiently. That was the best place for General to trade. But looks like he didn't want to. Guys, this game keeps going on and on and on. 4 nukes are now under production as well. And will the Protoss try to come down this army right into the Terran army? Not the best position for the Terran army right now. Colossus leading the way. They're going to take out the turret here, but will the Terran be able to capitalize on this bad army positioning from the Protoss? Maybe. 6 storms go off on the Ghost, but a sicker EMP goes off all over them as well. And the Protoss will retreat, and we will go into another battle here. We'll go into another revamp up period. The Protoss, the Terran, both players have to realize the time to engage is now. And I thought we were going to see it right there. We're not. Fake out by Brown. The 5th once again has been rebuilt by Brown. How many workers are left for both players? 60 to 41. But keep in mind, Genero does have the mules. And it looks like the Protoss coming down. Nope, deciding against it. He's deciding against it. And these players have traded these bases twice now. And I think that's hysterical. Like, this base and this base have once been controlled by the opposition. Okay, an offensive nuke. Going to take out 2 cannons and a pylon. And it looks like another nuke is going down over here. Could he actually trap his Protoss opponent in with nukes? Looks like this nuke will not actually kill anything. Oh, the army got so close, and I bet you anything the Protoss player had to breathe a sigh of relief there. Well, very nice defensive nuke there by Genero. The army doesn't want to engage there. Neither army does, but Genero should have engaged there. Cancels the nuke. Would have almost been smart for Genero to try to engage there to force that nuke positioning. This is one sick nuke away from being the greatest game I've ever seen. That's pretty much it. This game, it's got its stale moments where both players are back and forth, but also those moments so tense, as you can see here. The army of the Terran, so heavily reliant on getting those good EMPs. Wow, the Protoss very reliant on getting those crucial storms. Genero with the defensive nuke here. Does the Protoss want to engage? It looks like he does. Wouldn't That's not a good position to engage. Please, a nuke. No, it looks like the Ghost will die here. EMPs are going off over the entire Protoss army. The Colossus is doing a sick amount of damage. Those storms do go off. Brown, 159 supply. General, 154. This game's so deadlocked even that the Protoss and the Terran are going to have to go back again. However, Brown, 190 supply after a sick warp in here. And it looks like General with 116 supply army, Protoss with 137. Not the best engagement position here for Liquid Genro. And it looks like we are going to see a colossal battle here. Colossus are doing a lot of damage in the back. The lack of fighting is really hurting the Terran. Blinking Stalkers forward. Zealots coming in. Archon taking a lot of damage. Looks like Liquid Genro supply is plummeting here. 133 supply to 126 for Liquid Genro. Reinforcements are helping Genro, but it looks like the Colossus doing so much damage. 8 kill Colossus, a 5 kill Colossus. Vikings just now are popping, but too little, too late in my opinion. Ghosts, however, do remain because of the lack of an observer. But must be stated that Genro's army in shambles, 71 to 75. This game's so deadlocked even. It's really going to come down to these 5th bases here. Protoss is going to retreat for now because of the cloakness of the Ghosts. Guys, we are approaching the 45-minute mark, and my voice hates me right now. 163 supply Protoss to 132 Liquid Genro. What's that in? Well, that's probably in workers. Yes, it is. The armies of both players, not that bad from the other. General working on more nukes, getting his armor upgrades for his buildings will make his plan of Terry Fortress 5th very hard to take out. Terran player actually almost mined out of these bases here. Protoss about the same as we check the status. The 5th for the Protoss in a much better position. This base and this base is what both players have left. Could we see a draw situation? Neither player wants to engage poorly. Keep in mind the supply differential up at the top, while it favors Brown, is in workers and is not going to be reflected in an army versus army fight. I do like that Brown is securing this expansion. He is getting multiple cannons up. He says, you know, I have a lot of money. I'm going to spend it down. And now that we're talking about money, the money issue, very critical here for General. Down to just under 1,000 minerals. His opponent with a 3.5k bank and nukes. Multiple nukes going down all over the map. And it looks like the Protoss army is going to engage. Walk through the planetary fortress tower defense here. Going to take out both of these. Sick repair here is going down. And oh, a nuke all over Terran's army! Oh no, the Terran just nuked a lot of his own ghost. Carelessness on the part of Liquid Genro. This base does die. Genro down to 1.5 mining bases. Very costly nuke all over his own army. Oh no, I feel so bad. Oh, nuke is now, however, hovering right over the Protoss army. Protoss army doesn't seem to notice. He's going to retreat. But I don't think it was because of the nuke. That would have been so cool. Checking out the army tab. 136 down for Brown. 82 for Liquid Genro. Brown is in a pretty commanding position here. Very back and forth game from both players, but I think that nuke on his own army is going to tail the tale. 111 supply Genro to 197 supply Brown. Defensive nuke is going up. Protoss chooses not to engage. And a good job by the Genro there to cancel. And this refinery is going to meet its end, and all these SCVs are as well. And the +3/+3 army of the Terran versus the +3/+3/+3 army of the Protoss is going to start taking out the macro orbital commands. Looks like it's going to go over here and take out maybe the 3rd, or maybe the only other mining base here. And there is a nuke going off somewhere. I don't know where to be precise. It did go off in the back of the mineral line actually and kill a lot of probes. How many probes have been killed? 48 for Liquid Genro, 40 for his Protoss opponent Brown. Brown swinging back in here, going to go back and try to defend this nexus for the Chrono boosts. But max supply Brown against the 131 supply Liquid Genro. Brown going to come in here and engage one planetary fortress at a time, using Blink to come in here and take out the last fully mining base of Liquid Genro. And Genro is going to have to make a move now. As you can see him moving out across the map. Would hate to lose a 50-minute game, but no more mining for Liquid Genro except for this half base up here. Look at the income, only 500 minerals a minute for Liquid Genro, 1,000 for the Protoss player. Protoss player is going to have to come back and defend his base. Good EMPs there. However, I don't think it might not be enough to defend this base. 200 supply Brown. Huge warping of Zealots. And they're going to help ward it off a little bit. If this base holds, I think the Protoss wins. Doesn't, however, look like this base is going to hold. Protoss army coming in here. Looks like it might want to deal its final blow. Brown marching forward, 184 supplies. Sick blink forward. And the Vikings trying to get into a good position, attacking the Colossus. Linjo GG's. Linjo GG's? Jinro GG's. Good game from him. Good game from Brown. Taking a game off of a top 4 in pro. My voice is shot. Great game from both players. A lot of it came down to the securing the 5th base, and Jinro nuked himself. It cost, you know, like a good chunk of his army. I don't want to say a 4th, maybe a 5th, maybe a 6th of his army, but still a significant portion of that army did go down to virtually nothing. So this has been I'm casting Liquid Jinro versus Brown on the map Daybreak. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, like the video, type a comment, upvote the post. Do it all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.